Welcome once again to yet another podcast on the Uncommon Market Disruptor. This is for you, my friend. If you feel like you're the best kept secret out there, I see you, I feel your pain, and I'm here to do everything I can to really help you step out of that place of being the best kept secret and be discovered by the right person. Please remember that if you haven't yet, subscribe. That's how you get to know when we upload something new. And at the end of it all, if this helps you, be sure to share it with one other person that you feel will be blessed to go through this coaching session. I believe you and I can change this world one life at a time. It starts with us liking the materials and sharing it with just one person that we believe needs to hear the message. My guest for today is an amazing, amazing guest. She's been moving around the world and just doing this life-changing work for 35 years. If you hate your business, you hate your life, you feel like there's more untapped potential within you, you feel like there's a better way, you just don't know what it is. Have you ever been lost and you know there's a better way, but you have no idea what it is? Have you ever been on a road without a GPS? And you're like, I know this is supposed to take me 30 minutes. Why am I taking 10 hours? This happens in business. What if you knew exactly what business model you thrive in, the best people for you, and everything in between? What if you didn't have to guess your way? My friend, that is why I bring guests here. So they can tell you these things and save you hundreds and hundreds of hours. And so without getting ahead of myself, I want to talk about my guest for today. And my guest for today is Dominique Levesque. What Dominique does is she gives you the GPS of business that is literally in alignment with who you are as a person, with your DNA, if I can say that, with your DNA as God wanted it to be on this planet. You see, when you were born, God gave you a DNA, gave you a blueprint of your life. The only thing is, he didn't print it. And so there's a blueprint around your life. There is a mission on your life. There's a calling on your life. And everything that God wants you to do is somewhere in a book that we've never read. But somehow, Dominique has found her way into those places where she can tap into that book. And the work Dominique is doing, I would imagine, is co-creating with God, because she's helping you get your DNA, put it in a user's menu, and say, this is a GPS of navigating your life and business. Take it so you don't have to guess another 30 years of your life doing the wrong things at the wrong time. The work she does is she hands you that and says, whatever path you want to take, the map is here. You can choose whichever way you want, but this is your best chance at business and life. Tell me if this is not God's intervention. Tell me who am I to be interviewing someone like that? Dominique, welcome to the Uncommon Market Disruptor podcast. I feel truly honored and blessed to have you as a guest today.
Thank you so much. That introduction was amazing.
I feel goosies just talking about your work and knowing the person who is sat on the other side, the best kept secret out there in the coaching space, making things happen behind the scenes, but nobody knows them. The right people don't know them. The person who can change lives, but they're just the best kept secret. That is who we have on the other side. They know they have it in them. They know there is more in their hearts. They know their work changes lives. They know they are here to fulfill a calling on their life. No one knows them, and they don't know how to solve that problem. That is why they follow me. That's why they listen to me. And that is why I am always looking for people like you to help me talk into their life so that we can help them bring whatever it is they need to bring to the world to the surface. Take us through how you got into this to begin with in like a few minutes. Like, let us know, like, how did you fall into this life-changing work?
So I think that there's a lot of people in the space that say you come here to remember who you are, but you don't have to forget who you are to start with, right? Like you said, we come here and we don't have the blueprint. Like God gave us an essence, a soul, a blueprint, but we don't have the book for it. And I didn't have the book for it either. So when I was young, in human design, for those who know human design, I'm a generator, a pure generator. So I learned very, very young to work from my core. Any intuition that I had, I would go and I would do it, which is why I didn't have to remember, because I was already working from my own strategy. So let's say I was, I think maybe I was like 12 years old and I had the calling to go horseback riding. Well, I went horseback riding and my mom is like, well, we don't have the money for that. I'm like, it's okay. I'll figure it out. And then I went into stables and I said, can I clean the horses and I can get horseback riding lessons? And it turns out I was pretty good. And it turns out that I never had to pay for my lessons because they paid for my lessons because I was listening to my intuition. And then later in life, I was walking downtown Montreal and I saw a beautiful store. And I walked in and I'm like, wow, the energy is just not good in here. And my intuition said, tell the owner. And I went and I said to the owner, you know what? If you move this, your energy is going to flow so much better and the clients are going to move in. He listened to me. It worked. See, like I've always just kind of did it. I felt the energy and I followed my strategy and I went on. And then I saw a lot of people that have a lot of money, but that were so unhappy. And this made me question, what if they're just not following their strategy? What if they're just not, they have no idea what their soul wants them to, what if they don't know there's a soul? You know, and this is how I started doing what I'm doing.
I tell you, I'm taking notes. I'm like, okay, you followed your intuition and you started discovering all these things. And now you're literally doing this work. Take me through, if I was to start a business right now and I had no idea what this work was, what my strategy was, what all of these things. Take me through how I would find that.
Well, the first thing is actually finding yourself, right? Because you can have a business. You can go on AI and say, what kind of business can I have? And ask all the right prompts and get a successful business. But you're not going to feel meaningful in that business if it's not aligned with your core. So the first thing is finding who you are. And I have studied a lot of different modalities that help me to do that with you. So I'll go through human design. We will learn all your centers and we will learn all that is working within you so that you are walking a path in the 3D. And then we're going to go higher. Then we're going to use the energy to go into channel the gifts. So basically channeling, for those who are maybe not acquainted with that word, is we're getting information from higher levels of consciousness. And I am not a superwoman. Well, we all are, because we all have access to that. So I will teach you, if you don't know how to get access to the higher levels of consciousness. And we're going to get those gifts. We're going to understand those gifts. How do they work for you and with you here on Earth? Because this is where we live. All those gifts, they're working on other timelines. They're working in other places, but they need to be working for you here. And then we're knowing all of that and understanding who we are, the whole of who we are, then we're going to say, okay, what are we here to do? And this is when we get into the business part.
So if I was already in a business and I didn't do this work, I didn't do the self-discovery, I didn't do the conscious work of accessing those layers, I didn't go through all of that because I personally didn't do that stuff. Didn't know there was a channel, didn't know there was all these this amazing work that you do. And so I had to just go through it, stumble through it, fall through it, and just kept taking notes. Okay, what do I like? What feels good? Okay. Turns out what I like that feels good is actually feeling good to the listener. And so feeling good to the person on the other side. And so there is something here, maybe it's alignment or something, but there is God telling me to keep going this way and not going this way. And if I did something and it turned out really bad, I'll tell myself, yeah, God is saying, this is my way of protecting you. Don't go there. That is just how I started to think of it. I'm like, good. Okay. Turns out what I like that feels good is actually feeling good to the listener. And so feeling good to the person on the other side. And so there is something here, maybe it's alignment or something, but there is God telling me to keep going this way and not going this way. And if I did something and it turned out really bad, I'll tell myself, yeah, God is saying, this is my way of protecting you. Don't go there. But to think that there is an actual framework, thinking, design, structure behind it, woo, that's life-changing. So, Dominique, if I'm now in business and I am doing everything that is not even aligned to who I am, first of all, how do I know I'm a little bit off the tangent and whatever I am creating is about to hit a time bomb? Two, how do I pivot from that and begin shifting more into this type of work that can last years because it's on my GPS? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so a lot of people have businesses that they don't feel full from their business. The business is working, you know, it's on, let's say, automation, but they're always wondering, what can I do more? But there's a time when it's, what can I do more for me instead of for my client? This is one road sign that says, I'm not aligned. The other road sign, I call them road signs because basically when you get a map of your soul, you get road signs that you decide whether you're going to take the exit or not, right? It's all your choice. The other one would be, I'm overwhelmed. I am doing everything that I can, but I'm always overwhelmed. I'm not aligned. The other one would be words like, it's very frustrating because I feel like I have been doing the work, I have been showing up, I have been posting, but nothing works. Or it's working, but I still don't feel fulfilled from it. That's another road sign. All of these things are not telling you your business is not good. They're just telling you you're not aligned with what you're doing. So what we do is we get the GPS aligned, right? In the soul map or in the human design, the gene keys, all the different modalities that I use to help you get aligned, I give you information like, well, you're being called to serve one-on-one, or you're being called to serve masses, or you're being called to serve smaller groups. So this is one road sign. You're being called to work with your hands. You're being called to work with your communication. You're being called, so that's another road sign, right? I get all these road signs and then we help. So let's say you have a business and you're not feeling whole with your business. Well, we're not going to burn the business to the ground. Not a good idea. We're just going to shift that business from being a solely 3D business to a conscious business where you are aware of the whole of who you are within your business, and you can bring those gifts in the 3D to serve the souls that are looking for you. Because we all have an auric field that is within ourselves. And when we expand that auric field, we start bringing back our soul clients. Even if you have like a door business, a bar, a restaurant, a hotel, a boutique, you can still do that. You don't have to be a coach, a healer to do that. You can do that in any business that you have.
So now I am listening to you and going, oh, maybe I'm not building a conscious business. Maybe I started this for the money and now I really feel like it's not going well, or it's going well but why do I feel empty on the inside? The clients are happy, but why do I feel like this is not it? This is not the thing that I want to be doing for the rest of my life. I think I remember at one point I joined this program where the authority piece was writing a book and they wanted me to write a book. But then I looked at what I was doing. I was like, I don't want to write a book about this. I do want to write a book, but that doesn't feel like the book. And they were like, then if it doesn't feel like the book, it means we're doing work that is out of the thing that you're called to do.
So you see, the way that life works is we are told from very young how to walk, right?
Yeah.
Like when we're babies, we'll get up, we'll fall, we'll get up, we'll fall, we'll get up, we'll fall, and eventually we're going to start being scared of falling because maybe we don't really like the falling. So we're going to start putting, one foot in front of the other, and we are going to be congratulated for doing that. And eventually, there's going to be an adult that's going to come and say, sit down and stop talking. Eat properly.
I know.
Walk in line. Be quiet. Draw within the lines. So we are starting to be conditioned. We're starting to take at that beliefs that are not even ours. Why do we have to be quiet? Because the neighbor's going to talk about us? Who cares what the neighbor says? Why do I have to dress in white when my favorite color is yellow? Why can I not play in the grass because I'm going to stain my dress? All these things, they're not mine. They're a condition that society has put upon me. But this is how we learn. So we learn very, very young that we need to learn from the others. We forget to learn from ourselves. So when you're walking your path it's amazing because you're like, I like this, I'm going to keep on doing it. I don't like this, well, I'm going to pivot and go back to what I like. A lot of people are not seeing that conditioning. They're not feeling their strategy. They're not feeling their core. And this is where the magic happens. When you're able to feel your core and to know that everything inside of you is where the magic is, or the genius, like you call it, then you can either pivot if this is what you want to do. Some people just completely change their ways of being. Like they burn down the house. I'm not for that. I like to keep stability for the clients, like let's not just burn down the house. Let's pivot, like you say. Let's take it slow and bring what you already have and adapt it to be more conscious, more aware. When I was maybe 25, I would go into hotels. I was hired by a group of hotels to go in all the hotels and see how the lobbies were functioning, right? Like to see how the energy was flowing within the lobbies. We didn't call it energy in that time. It's like 27 years ago. We didn't call it energy, but it's what it was. And when the energy doesn't flow, the people don't come. So if the energy is not flowing within you, people won't come. But if you already have the frequency of making money, let's not burn that. Let's bring it into the new way of operating your business. Because the frequency is what the universe understands. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, I like it. Like, don't burn the house. You call it frequency and I call it what's working. Don't stop doing what is working for the new you and the excitement of, the adventure. Let's keep what is working because not a lot of things will work, but let's keep what is working and then kind of pivot a little bit to even make you more dangerous. I think that you can make money, you can be successful, you can change lives, but with the kind of work that Dominique is talking about, you'll be unstoppable. There's nothing that is going to stop you from really reaching those heights. That leads me into another question, Dominique. I know you have an experience of getting bankrupt because you didn't do this work. And that is what can happen when we don't do this work. We get into the wrong ventures. We get into the wrong mergers. We get into the wrong partnerships. And I wanted you to share a little bit about that. Like, tell us what happened there and what can we begin to learn from that? I feel like there's a lesson there that was powerful when I heard about that.
Oh my God, there's like so much in the lessons that we have to choose. It's always a choice, right? I know I go back into that, but it's always a choice, because even when you're balanced, you're aligned, everything is going well, there's always going to be something that's going to happen. And it's how you deal with it that's going to make you walk out of it successfully, empowered, or stay stuck in it. And there is one lesson that I failed to learn for many, many, many years. And it came back in many, many, many ways because I refused to see the light on it. I was only seeing the shadow. I was seeing something. So for me, we all have shadows, right? But a shadow doesn't happen if there's no light. And the light doesn't happen if there's no shadow. They need each other. So my goal in life is for everybody to know their shadows so well, to hold them by the hand so that there is light. And when something happened, they don't say, oh no. They're like, oh, I see you. Now let's just walk through this so that I don't go bankrupt again. Where I'm going with this is my shadow was speaking my truth. When I was very young, I was probably 6 or 7 years old. I was serving beside a priest, and I would tell the priest, look, everybody has gold around them. Look at all those colors around them. And he's like, shut up, you're crazy. Be quiet. You know, only God sees these things. Remain quiet. And I was eventually put into a psychiatric hospital because of these things, because they really thought I was crazy. You know, but I wasn't. You're not crazy for hearing voices. You're not crazy for feeling everything that you feel. Nobody is crazy. We all have triggers, and it's how we're going to respond. So my shadow was never speaking my truth. From very, very young, I was conditioned to not say what I think because I didn't want people to think I was crazy. So here are 3 shadows in here. What are people going to think? So I don't want to lose my face, right? Maybe I'm not going to be accepted. Maybe I'm not going to be loved for who I really am. And the other one is I'm not going to speak my truth because it's going to offend people, right? So here are those 3 shadows. They came back in my life, my entire life. Even when I was balanced, I was aligned, I was happy, they always came back. And it's my decision whether I'm going to honor them or put them on the side because they're too heavy. And at one point, that's what I did. I got with the wrong business partner in the wrong country, wrong business, totally not aligned with what I like. It was a cattle business. Seriously, I don't even eat meat. I mean, anyways, it was like so wrong. Everything was wrong. And I lost everything because I did not honor my shadows. They became so heavy that I did not remember, or for 1 second, I forgot that this is what I had been working on forever. And I went bankrupt. But not only bankrupt, I completely broke. Because also sometimes, let's call God God. If you don't believe in God, call it however feels right for you. But at one point, if you keep on walking through those lessons and not listening and not owning them, they will come back. And at one point, something is going to have to stop you. You know that wall that you go bang? Well, that's what happened. I lost everything. But here's the good thing, because I already had the frequency of I know how to do business. I know how to make money. I know how to go back to balance. I know how to be aligned. It didn't take me that long to get back there. And this is where I want to keep the stress off of people. If you feel you're making mistake over mistake over mistake over mistake, it's all okay. Let's just change the word. You're being more empowered. You're being more shown the light of where you need to go. And now it's time for you to make a decision to walk the other path, like you said, right? Stop going the way that I'm not being shown and start going the way I am. Because maybe it's your wall.
Dominique has been someone that has cracked something You've already seen the work now. I don't even need to keep taking you into this work because now you see the work. And at the end of it all, you will know how to access Dominique to get your GPS, to get your own user money of your life. Instead of driving around like you have no map, let's get the GPS. The thing I want to ask Dominique is something that I feel will be helpful. And she's not the most current marketer. She probably doesn't know all the hooks and all the things, but she's figured out something that you and I possibly haven't. And that is how to run a business completely through word of mouth. I know you probably are thinking, wow, like how do I do that? Because with all the marketing skills, with all the messaging tactics, with all the things we know, we still crave word of mouth. Like, I wish I could have more people tell more people about what I do. And she's looking at what she has and going, I probably wish I could do more marketing and could have more of these things you guys know. And I want to ask her to kind of tell us briefly, how do you get referral business for a century? How do you do it?
I think one of the, I don't think about it. This is one of the things. There is absolutely no fear frequency in it. In life, there's two frequencies. There's love and there's fear. Fear is here, love is here. And when I walk through life, I walk hand in hand with faith. I like sit with faith. I'm like, okay, take me through this journey here. Take me through this thing, right? Everybody says that earth is very dense, the frequency is very low, and I refuse to go there. And so sometimes I'll wonder, and then faith is like, yeah, it's not yours to wonder. The how doesn't belong to you. Mm. And this is how I have worked word of mouth all my life, because every time that I work on a project or with someone, I give it all. I give all I have. I don't hold back, because my goal is not for you to need me forever. You know, I want to have a cup of coffee with you, and then you're going to tell me, oh my God, listen to everything I have accomplished, instead of you coming to cry and saying, I'm failing in this. I'll be there with you, but no one is failing, you know? And word of mouth is basically that, is if no one feels that they're failing and everybody feels like they're succeeding, they're going to want to talk about you. And my goal is for everybody to succeed in their own balanced and aligned way. And this is what people talk about.
I like it. Do you have more to give us on that?
Yes, for sure. Like the art of word of mouth is also showing up, which is one of the shadows I was talking about. It's basically not being afraid. It all goes back to fear, right? If you're creating from love and everything comes out of here, everything's going to work out. You use your auric field to bring back the people that you need. But no one can bring back the people if you don't talk about who you are, the whole of who you are. See,